This conference will now be recorded.
Hello students, welcome to TeenEinstein biology class. In today's class we are moving to a new chapter of 7th standard biology. So this chapter is about respiration in organism. This is the 6th chapter in your science textbook. So respiration in organism. In this chapter we are learning about what is respiration or why do we respire? What is the need of that respiration? Then breathing, what is breathing and how do we breathe? What do we breathe out? Then in other animals, other than human beings, in other animals, how breathing is taking place? Breathing underwater, how it will be? And about plants also we need to say, because we are saying about all the organisms, so plants also will respire or not. So these are the main contents of this chapter. Let's do one by one. So we know that everyone is breathing, right? And have you ever thought about, if you're running, suppose you're running from one place to another place, right? You want to reach in your school at 9 a.m. Okay, but you're starting from your home. It's 10 minutes distance. You're starting just before 5 minutes, or by 8:55 you are starting from your home. Okay, so you have to 10 minutes distance, that is just for walking, just walking distance I'm saying. So but you have to walk 10 minutes, then only you will reach your school, right? You are starting at 8:55. At 8:55 you are starting from your home. So in the same speed you are walking means you cannot reach your school, right? On time you will not reach. So what you will do? You will run, right? Sometimes you will run, a slow running may be there, or a bit fast, you need to run a bit fast, right? So what to cover that timing and reach on time, you need to increase your speed. So from walking you're doing this running, so you're running to reach school on time. Exact 8:55 you are starting from home and you are running to cover that distance, because every day you were walking and this day you were not supposed to get ready, or you were not able to get ready by that time, so you got late. So 8:55 you are starting from home, and to cover the same distance, if you're walking in the same speed, you will not reach school by 9 a.m. So what you will do? You will run, right? So this running, you're running little bit faster, and you're reaching the school in few minutes, right? Exact time by 9 o'clock you are reaching your school, right? Just imagine that situation, that running that will increase the speed, movement speed is increasing, right? The relaxed movement, whatever you're feeling while walking, that you won't feel while running, right? So you're breathing, what change you will get there? Walking means there will be slow breathing, and at the same time if you're running, what will happen? You're reaching on time in school. For that you are running, and if you are running your breathing will be faster, right? So you're breathing so fast. Okay, and you told your sir or teacher you came very fast, or you came by running, and all the way you came running, that's why you're breathing faster. But here one question comes: faster breathing, what is the reason of that faster breathing? Right, what is the reason for that faster breathing? That you should understand, isn't it? So here a person who is breathing in a faster rate, that question will come to our mind: why that person is breathing very faster? Breathing, without breathing it's not possible. So that is a part, breathing is a part of, that's a part of respiration. Okay, breathing is not complete respiration, that's a part of respiration. Okay, so breathing is a part of respiration. See, we have learned in the previous chapter, we were learning about what? Digestion. So digestion, it's not just chewing the food, right? It's not just simply grinding the food inside mouth. There are several processes, several steps to complete that digestion, right? There's the digestive system and digestive juices which are helping to make whole digestion process. To complete the digestion process, all these steps are involved, and all juices, the digestive juices are there, some glands are helping, whole digestive system is involved in that. So that makes a complete process. So like that, a respiration, which is a complete process, for that breathing is a part of that respiration. Got it? So breathing is a part of respiration, which is a very important process in our, or a very important part of our life, right? So breathing is a part of respiration. So now we are learning about respiration. Next we will learn about respiration. Why? See, we said about a faster breathing. We don't know the faster breathing reason, right? Why we are breathing or why we are respiring, what is the need of respiration in our body, that we need to learn first. Then we need to learn why that faster breathing. Okay, first we need to learn respiration, what is that, then why that need in more number, that also we need to learn. So let's start. Why do we respire? That's the first question. See, in previous chapter we have learned, like all organisms, they are made up of cells. Organisms are made up of cells. See, this is the basic unit, cell, which is the basic unit of life. Right, this is a basic unit. There will be unicellular organism and multicellular organism. So the cell is the basic unit of all. Okay, so this is a small microscopic unit which is called as cell, and a cell, that is the smallest structural and functional unit of an organism. Cell is the smallest structural and functional unit of an organism, right? See, a single cell organism with single cell, which is having all the cellular components, necessary cellular components, that also can live. And if so many cells are working together, and that is making a complete organism, that is also living, right? But here, if single cell organism is also doing their life and multicellular organism, that means a cell, that is the basic structural and functional unit. Basic structure, and that is functioning, right? So we can say cell is the smallest unit of life. So cell is the smallest structural and functional unit of an organism. Okay, and each cell in the single cellular organism, all the functions are done by that single cell, right? Single cell, that is doing all the functions In which one? In unicellular organisms. Uni means single. So unicellular organism means that single cell is performing each and every function, right? So each and every function in the sense that nutrition it is doing, transportation, excretion, reproduction, everything is done in that single cell. What about a multicellular organism? Multicellular organism, there will be each and every unit. There will be separate unit to perform all these functions, right? Separate organs or organ systems will be there to perform the functions, right? Think about human being or and some other animals. In that, see, we have digestive system to perform digestion, right? And respiratory system for respiration. So like that, circulatory system, blood circulation is there. Circulatory systems are there. So like that, several organs or organ systems are there for doing different functions in higher organisms, right? So here, small microscopic units like cells are there in all organisms. So all organisms are made up of small microscopic units which are called a cell, and cell is the smallest structure or smallest microscopic structure, and that is the smallest structural and functional unit of an organism. And each cell, here we said unicellular organism which is composed of single cell, and multicellular organisms are composed of several cells, and there is separate tissues, organs and organ system in such kind of organisms, right? So each cell of an organism performs certain functions. Each cell of an organism that is doing or that is performing some function. See, we said in single cellular organism, all the functions are done by the same cell because there is no other option, right? And here in multicellular organism, even though there is organs or organ system, all these are composed of cells only, right? The ultimate or the simple unit of all these organs and organ system, that is cell. So each cell is working there, and that together completes a function, right? So each cell of an organism performs some function, right? What are all functions? Like nutrition is there, then excretion, transport, reproduction. So all these functions, in all these functions, each and every cell is involved, right? And just think how these cells are doing this work. How or these cells are doing all these works we said. So how these are doing? They need something, right? So these cells need energy to perform a function. So cells need energy to perform a function, right? Just think about our laptop, or that's a non-living thing, right? Our laptop, our mobile phone, or whatever, maybe without charge, it will work. No, it will get switched off, right? So here, in the case of living organism, to do all these works, just think about our human body. If you're feeling so hungry and we didn't get water, we didn't get food for 1 or 2 days, what will happen? We'll become so tired, we won't get energy to do perform things, right? So our day to day activities, that also we won't be able to do. That's why we are saying they require, the cell needs energy. Even we are, see, to perform the functions, in the sense which and all functions we are doing, we need to eat, we need to sleep, we need to read. For all these things, functions like eating, sleeping, reading, walking. To perform each and every function, we need energy, right? We are eating, that is the input, right? We are giving some energy. To get some energy, we are giving some nutritional food to our body, that's eating. And for sleeping also, we are taking rest. That time also our body need to work because we need to do breathing, right? While sleeping also we are breathing. Our circulatory system, blood circulation is happening inside our kidneys, or our what is that, lungs are working, kidney is working, heart is working. So many organs are working even we are sleeping, right? So during sleeping time also we are feeling like we are sleeping, and your body is taking rest, because some of the systems, like sleeping time, you are not going to read, right? So your eyes, they are getting rest, and some functions will be paused for some time, right? So your body is getting little bit, or it is taking rest in that mode. But the other organs, full time working organs are there, right? That should work. So when we are eating, sleeping, reading, all this time we require energy. But there another question comes, from where this energy comes? We need energy, right? This is a requirement. But from where? From where you will get energy, or from where this energy is coming from? See, always in your childhood, your parents will compel you to eat food. See, you will be busy with, you want to go and play with your friends, but that evening when you are coming back from school, your parents, your mom will insist, or your mom will force you to eat something. You have something, you drink milk, you eat snacks, or have fruits, have some other food, like that. They will insist, they'll force you to have food, right? That's for what? Why they are forcing? Because this food, that is the form of energy which you are intaking, right? So the food has stored energy. Stored energy. So in that form only we can give energy. We are giving a form of energy into our body, and this energy is getting released during, from this energy is released during respiration. Okay, so during respiration energy is released from this. Okay, and all organism, from this what we can understand, all living organism, they are respiring to get energy from food. We are intaking the intake of food, that is a stored energy, but from that they should get energy. So all living organisms respire to get energy from food. All living organisms respire to release, or to get energy released from the energy from food, right? And we know that while breathing we'll breathe, what will breathe in? Breathing in, with what we'll breathe in? Air, right? So you know that while breathing in, that air is taken inside, that is having oxygen, right? That contains oxygen. Then we'll breathe out, right? So that while breathing out, in that breathing out air, that is having carbon dioxide. Okay, breathing in means in that air it will be rich in oxygen, and the breathing out air that will be rich in carbon dioxide. Clear? So all living organisms, they are respiring to get energy from food, and during breathing will breathe in and will breathe out. The breathing in, that air contains oxygen, and the breathing out air which is rich in carbon dioxide. Okay, and the air we breathe in, that is transported to all parts of the body, and all parts in the sense it is reaching each and every cell. Okay, breathe in that, while breathing in, that air reaches each and every cell, right? So while breathing in, we are taking the air which is rich in oxygen, and while breathing out, the air will be rich in carbon dioxide. So the air which we are breathing in is transported to all the parts of body, each and every cell. It is reaching all the parts of it is getting transported to all parts of body. Which one? The air which we are breathing in will be transported to all parts of the body, and ultimately we can see that is reaching in each and every cell. So it is transported to all parts of the body and ultimately to each and every cell, we can see. And in the cells, we said the breathing in air that is rich in oxygen, right? So when we are breathing in, the oxygen rich air is getting transported to all parts of the body. This transported to all the parts of the body, this is rich in oxygen, right? And if it is reaching all the parts of the body, it is reaching to each and every cell, right? Here in the cells, oxygen in the air that is helping to break down the food. The air which is reaching the food, let's see, I'll explain you clearly. Breathing, right? We are breathing. So breathing means that air is rich in oxygen, right? And while breathing, this air is air rich in oxygen is getting transported to all the parts of body. That means it is reaching each and every cell. And we said this is rich in oxygen, right? So here with the help of oxygen in the cells, this oxygen in the air that is helping in the breakdown of food. Oxygen rich, this oxygen in the air helps in the breakdown of food. Okay, to break down this food, this oxygen which is present in air helps. Okay, and Next, we need to say the another point. This process here we said with the help of this oxygen which is present in the breathing in air, that is helping in the breakdown of food. So here the process of breakdown of food in the cell with the release of energy, that is called as cellular respiration. Okay, so what is cellular respiration? Here oxygen, we'll learn this as a definition. So here we said air which is rich in oxygen that will be transported to all the parts of the body while breathing in. Right. So we said this is rich in oxygen. So this is reaching each and every cell. All the parts of the body it is reaching means each and every cell it is reaching. And we said it's already rich in oxygen. The breathing in air will be rich in oxygen. And this oxygen in the air which is reaching in the cell, each and every cell, that is helping in the breakdown of food. Okay. So while breaking down the energy, if food is getting breaking down means that releases energy. So the process of breakdown of food in the cell, process of breakdown of food in the cell with the release of energy, with the breaking down, food is breaking down. So that releases energy with the release of energy is called as cellular respiration. That is called as cellular respiration, and cellular respiration takes place in the cells of all organism. Where it is taking place? Takes place in the cells of organism. That's why we are calling cellular respiration, respiration in the cellular level. So that is taking place in the cells of organism, right? See, only breathing through nose, that's a basic concept, the basic level which you are learning. But it is happening in each and every cell. That air is reaching, oxygen rich air is reaching in all parts of the body. All parts of the body in the sense it is reaching at the microscopic level. That means cell, in each and every cell of each part it is reaching. So we said that is rich in oxygen. This oxygen will help in the breaking down of food, and the process of breakdown of food in the cell with the help of this oxygen that releases energy, right? That is called as cellular respiration, and the cellular respiration is taking place in the cells of organisms. Cells of all organisms, the cellular respiration is taking place. Okay. Here, see, we said cellular respiration means in the cells of organism it is taking place. In the cells of organism, cellular respiration is taking place, right? So here cellular respiration means in the cell the breaking down of food is taking place, right? So in the cell, again we are writing in the cell the food is breaking down. Food in the sense in the cell what will be there? That food means glucose. After digestion in the smallest form it will be there in the cell. What is that? Glucose, right? We have learned in the previous chapter, in digestion chapter, after digestion food is reaching in the form of glucose. It is getting stored in the form of glucose, and this will be broken down into carbon dioxide and water. Breaking down of food. So in which form it will, after breaking down, in which form it will be there? The food will be broken down into carbon dioxide and water. Here in the presence of oxygen it is happening, right? So it is forming carbon dioxide and water, right? So it is using oxygen to break down the food. So when the breakdown of glucose occurs with the use of oxygen, here we said, generally we said in the presence of oxygen, the breaking down of food or the glucose, it is taking place and it forms carbon dioxide and water. In that, we need to see when breakdown of food in cellular level, in the presence or breakdown of food, or we can say glucose, with the usage of oxygen, then it is called as aerobic respiration. Aerobic respiration. Okay. And in the absence or without the presence of oxygen also, this breaking down of food is possible. Okay. So food can also be broken down without using oxygen. Breakdown of food without using oxygen is also possible. That is called as anaerobic respiration. Anaerobic respiration. Okay. And here in the both cases, breakdown of food that releases energy. Okay. So ultimately what we can say, breakdown of food releases energy. Okay. So energy is getting released while the breaking down of food. So here glucose with usage of oxygen. Okay, with usage of oxygen, that will give carbon dioxide plus water, and that releases energy. This energy is getting utilized. Okay, but here we are saying the same, with the help of oxygen or by using oxygen, breaking down of food is taking place, which is called as aerobic respiration. And breakdown of food without using oxygen, that is called as aerobic respiration. That is also possible. Okay. And finally, the main point, breaking down of food with oxygen or without oxygen. In both cases, breaking down of food releases energy. There, the ultimate aim is the release of energy, right? So glucose with the usage of oxygen, that is breaking down by using oxygen, means that will give carbon dioxide plus water, and that releases energy. Okay. But in some organisms, in some organisms, you can see in some organism, for example, we can say yeast. In that kind of organism, they can survive in the absence of air. Yeast can survive. Organisms like yeast, they can survive in the absence of air, right? So these kind of organisms are called as anaerobes. The organisms which can survive in the absence of air, they are called as anaerobes, and they will get energy. How they will get energy? They will get energy through anaerobic respiration. Anaerobic respiration. Okay, so they'll get energy through anaerobic respiration. That means in the absence of oxygen. Absence of oxygen. We said some organisms can break down food and they can get energy in the absence without utilizing oxygen. Okay, so here they are getting energy through anaerobic respiration in the absence of oxygen. So here glucose that will break down without oxygen. In the absence of oxygen, that will break down, and here in the aerobic respiration, glucose will break down with the usage of oxygen, and that will give carbon dioxide, water, and energy. But here there is no oxygen. In the absence of oxygen, it is getting broken down, so it will give, let's write in the same order, then it will be easy for you to remember. What we will write? It is giving carbon dioxide plus, in the aerobic respiration you were getting water, but here you are getting alcohol, plus it is also releasing energy. Okay, so this, in some organisms which can survive in the absence of air, they are called as anaerobes, and they will get energy through anaerobic respiration. That kind of respiration without, in the absence of air or in the absence of oxygen, that is called as anaerobic respiration, that is in the absence of oxygen, and that kind of organisms also need energy to live. So what they will do in them, the glucose breaking down, that process or that step is taking place without or in the absence of oxygen, or without oxygen it is taking place. So what will be the product, or what it is giving in that kind of respiration? It is forming carbon dioxide, then it is releasing energy, and it is giving alcohol also. Carbon dioxide plus alcohol, and then it releases energy also. Okay, so how we can write these two equations in the presence of oxygen and in the absence of oxygen? See, aerobic respiration. Aerobic respiration means in the presence of oxygen. Okay, so how you will write? Glucose. This will be broken down with the use of oxygen. It is aerobic respiration. That means with the use of oxygen. What it will give? It will give carbon dioxide plus water plus energy. That's how energy release is taking place in aerobic respiration. Okay. In anaerobic respiration, this is in the absence of oxygen. That means here that kind of organisms can live in the absence of air or in the absence of oxygen, and they are called as anaerobes. Example, we can say yeast. And how these organisms are getting energy? They are getting energy through anaerobic respiration in the absence of oxygen. So here again glucose without the use of oxygen. Without the use of oxygen. We said in the absence of oxygen, right? So without the use of oxygen, this will give carbon dioxide plus alcohol plus energy. Okay, carbon dioxide plus alcohol plus energy. So glucose will break down into carbon dioxide, alcohol and energy. In anaerobic respiration, alcohol is getting produced, but in aerobic respiration, there you are getting water. Okay, so glucose breaks down into carbon dioxide, alcohol and release of energy is taking place in the case of anaerobic respiration. Okay, and we know that yeast, example yeast, we said this yeast is a single cell organism, right? About yeast, what and all we know, that is a single cell organism. It's a unicellular organism, and this will respire, or their respiration in yeast, that is anaerobic respiration. In the absence of anaerobic respiration, that means in the absence of oxygen, and during this process, that during respiration, anaerobic respiration, that yields, or that forms alcohol. Okay, so these yeast or this type of organisms are therefore used to make wine and beer. Okay, used for making wine and beer. Wine and beer. So here, in the process of making wine and beer, anaerobic respiration is taking place, right? That's why it is getting alcohol. Here anaerobic respiration, carbon dioxide is forming, alcohol is forming, and energy is getting released. So organisms like yeast, it's a unicellular organism. In this respiration is anaerobic respiration. In the absence of oxygen, they can break down the food, and during anaerobic respiration, that yields alcohol. So this type of organisms like yeast, they are used for making wine and beer. Okay, so in the process of making wine and beer, which kind of respiration is taking place? Anaerobic respiration in the absence of oxygen. Clear? So here in respiration, what and all we said, everyone need to respire. All the organisms need respiration, because during respiration, the energy release is taking place, right? Energy release is taking place during breathing time. And why we need to respire? See, we know that all the organisms, they need to live. So breathing, we are saying breathing is a part of respiration. So why we are breathing faster way, why we are breathing in a slow way, that depends upon the energy requirement. The release of energy is taking place during breathing, right? So we learned why do we respire. Like each and every organism, from the smallest unicellular organism to multicellular organism, all the organisms need to respire. And it's like all the other process like transportation, excretion, digestion, like all these, respiration is also a process. So we need to do multiple functions in our body. In all the organisms, they need to perform multiple functions, and all these functions simply they cannot do. That is having an energy requirement. So from where they are getting this energy, or where this energy come from? That's from the food. But the food exactly, it won't give directly that energy, right? So all the organisms are respiring to get that energy released from that food. Only it is releasing that released energy only, that can utilize. So during breathing, we are breathing in air which is rich in oxygen, and the breathing out air that will be rich in carbon dioxide, right? So when we are breathing in, it is transported, that air is getting transported to all the parts of the body, and that air is rich in oxygen and it is reaching in each and every cell. So there the breaking down of food is taking place with the help of this oxygen. So the process of breaking down of food in the cell with the release of energy, process of breaking down of food in the cell with the release of energy, that is called as cellular respiration. Breaking down of food in the cell with releasing, if breaking down, that energy is getting released, that is called as cellular respiration. And this cellular respiration that is taking place in the cell of all organism, and in the cell of all organism, in which form the food will be after digestion, it will be in glucose form. This glucose will be broken down into carbon dioxide and water in the presence of this oxygen, or by using this oxygen which is present in the breathing in air, that food is getting broken down into carbon dioxide and water, and their energy is getting released. So when the breakdown of glucose occurs with the use of oxygen, that is called as aerobic respiration. Here in aerobic respiration, glucose with the usage of oxygen in the air, breathing in air, in that oxygen will be there, they will utilize that oxygen, and it will break down the glucose into carbon dioxide, water, and energy. This is the energy which is getting released. Then some organisms are there which can survive in the absence of oxygen. So those organisms are called as anaerobes, and these organisms, they'll get energy through the anaerobic respiration. Means they will do respiration but in the absence of oxygen. So in the absence of oxygen, here glucose, without using this oxygen, it will break down the glucose into carbon dioxide, alcohol, and energy. Here also energy release is taking place. This is the energy release which can be utilized. Okay, so some organisms, for example, we can say yeast, which is a single cell organism, and this organism in that respiration is anaerobic respiration. That means in the absence of oxygen. So during anaerobic respiration, that is breaking down glucose into carbon dioxide, alcohol, and energy. Here you can see the formation of alcohol. So that yields alcohol, and this type of organisms which can do anaerobic respiration and the yielding of alcohol, that is used for making wine and beer. Okay, so you have to learn what is breathing and why we are breathing, the air, what is aerobic respiration, what is anaerobic respiration, and these two equations. This you can remember. What is cellular respiration and where cellular respiration is taking place, and the breathing in air is rich in oxygen, the breathing out air is rich in carbon dioxide, that you have to remember. And here the breaking down of food in two forms, aerobic respiration and anaerobic respiration. Why we are respiring, that is for the releasing of energy, or breaking down of food and releasing of energy. It's taking place in each and every cell, cellular level it is taking place. So what is aerobic respiration, what is anaerobic respiration, and in which type of organism? The example for anaerobe, yeast, and yeast, in that which kind of respiration is taking place, and what is happening during anaerobic respiration, and why yeast is used for making wine and beer. Okay, so these many points you should remember. Okay, in the next class, we'll be learning about some more points about this breathing. Okay, so that we will learn in the next class. Thank you.